Hello friends, so in this lesson we are going to study about the possessive expression. In Arabic it is called al-idafa. Okay, so this is a new principle of Arabic language. It is called Arabic possessive expression or idafa. Now idafa literally means adding or annexing. That means when we talk about idafa we are talking about adding one noun to another to form a relationship of possession or belonging. That means one noun being owned or belonging to the other noun. For example, teacher's book. That means the book belongs to teacher, or other way of saying it is the book of teacher. Okay, so one noun is connected to other noun, or one noun is added to other noun to form a structure, to form a sentence. We'll see some examples to understand it better. So here this is possession idafa and here it is belonging idafa. So kitabul mudarrisi, in English it is translated as the teacher's book. Qalamu Muhammadin, Muhammad's pen. Madinatu Roma, the city of Roma. Qimmatul Jabali, the top of the mountain. Okay, so these are all examples of idafa. Now we'll study some rules and we'll try to understand how what rules are there which we use to connect two nouns. Okay, so in the possessive expression, one noun is the possessor called mudaf ilay, while the other is called possessed, mudaf in Arabic. Okay, so one is mudaf ilay and the other is mudaf. For example, if we say the teacher's book, the teacher is the possessor and the book is possessed. Okay, simple to understand. Now let us take an example to understand it better. So kitabul mudarrisi, okay, so the book of teacher or teacher's book, in English it is translated. So the first part is the possessed noun called mudaf. In our example this is kitab, book. Okay, so this is mudaf and mudarrisi, al mudarrisi is mudaf ilay. Okay, so there are certain rules of the possessed noun of the mudaf. Okay, so we'll study them. Although kitab here it is not a definite, okay, it is not al kitab, but it does not al does not come before the noun, but it is implied. Okay, so this means the book. When we are talking about mudaf, the al is implied in it, so it is the book. Okay, not a book. The possessed noun or mudaf can be in any case, whether it is genitive, nominative or accusative. Okay, it could have kasra, fatha or dhamma. We do not need to worry about this at moment. In normal cases it is nominative, so it ends with a dhamma. So here again in this example kitabu, you have dhamma in it, so it is in the nominative case generally, but it could have the fatha or kasra as well. But as far as mudaf ilay is concerned, you always have it in a genitive case. Okay, so the possessed noun is definite, therefore it cannot take tanween, that is it cannot take double dhamma. So we don't say it kitabun mudarrisi. Okay, it will have only one dhamma. So first part is possessed noun mudaf and it does not have a tanween on it. Okay, so these three rules again, if you want I can revise them. Okay, kitab is not definite, it is not al kitab, but the al, okay, the definite noun is implied in it. The possessed noun can be in any case, genitive, nominative or accusative. We do not need to worry about this at the moment. In normal case it is nominative only. Since the possessed noun is definite, therefore it cannot take tanween. So the mudaf, it cannot take tanween on it, it cannot take double dhamma. The second part is the possessor or mudaf ilay. In this example it is al mudarrisi. Okay, so this is mudaf ilay, we have seen this already. So in our example the teacher is mudaf ilay, so this is possessor. Now the possessor can be definite or indefinite. So example al mudarrisi or mudarrisin, it could be definite or indefinite, the teacher or a teacher. Okay, Now the second rule regarding mudaf ilay is that it is always in genitive case, so it will always have kasra or kasratain. So here we'll see the example and then we'll see the rule. Or first we'll see the rule. Okay, the possessed noun or mudaf takes different cases, while the mudaf ilay takes only the genitive case. We have seen this before. So kitabul talibi, okay, you see the book of the student. Here it is in the nominative case. Okay, so it has one dhamma, and the mudaf ilay, as we have seen, it is always in the genitive case. It will always have a kasra. Ala maktabil mudarrisi, on the desk of the teacher. So again you can see maktabi. Okay, so here it has a fatha on it, but in the mudaf ilay it has kasra. Okay, the mudaf can be definite. We have seen this when it is annexed to a definite mudaf ilay. Okay, mudaf can be definite when it is annexed or added to a definite mudaf ilay, and it can be indefinite when it is annexed to an indefinite mudaf ilay. In all cases the mudaf ilay is never prefixed with al. Okay, mudaf is never prefixed with al. Okay, so you will not have al babu. Okay, when it is mudaf it will always be in the definite case, but the al is implied in it. Okay, so we'll see examples. Babul baiti, okay, the house's door. Imamu masjidin, an imam of a mosque. Okay, now some examples, some conversations are there. You have to pay attention to the vowel endings of the words. I'll read this and I'll translate this in English. Sa'idun, Sa'id says, a kitabu Muhammadin hada, is this Muhammad's book? Yasirun, la, hada kitabu Hamidin, no, this is Hamid's book. You have to pay attention to, kitabu Hamidin, a kitabu Muhammadin. So these ending sounds you have to pay attention. Then you first have to study all the rules, and if you look at the examples you'll understand why we are ending it with kasratain or fathatain or whatever it is. Okay, if you have any doubt you can ask me in the comment section. Sa'idun, aina kitabu Muhammadin, where is the Muhammad's book? Where is Muhammad's book? Yasirun huwa ala al-maktabi hunaka, it is there on the desk. Sa'idun, aina daftaru Ammarin, where is Ammar's notebook? Yasirun huwa ala maktabil mudarrisi, it is on the teacher's desk. Sa'idun, qalamu man hada, whose pen is this? Aliyun hada qalamul mudarrisi, this is the teacher's pen. Sa'idun, aina haqibatul mudarrisi, where is the teacher's bag? Aliyun hiya tahta al-maktabi, it is under the desk. So whatever rules we have studied so far, we have applied these rules in these sentences, and if you pay attention to these rules, if you know these rules very well, then you will be able to understand why the ending sounds are like this. And still if you don't understand, do let me know. Okay, I'll help you out. And if you're finding this course helpful to you, do share the course, and let other people also get benefit from this. Thank you.